Was the president misled by Tyler Winklevoss and strategy rejected by the S&P 500? You're watching CoinDesk Daily. I'm your host, Jen Sanasie. Brian Quintenz released text messages with Tyler Winklevoss on Wednesday, suggesting the Gemini co-founder had misled President Donald Trump about why he opposed Quintenz's nomination. The CFTC chair nominee looked set to sail through the Senate confirmation process, but the committee with jurisdiction repeatedly postponed a vote. He shared a series of screenshots on X documenting the exchange between him and Tyler Winklevoss on Gemini's complaint to the regulator. Quintenz wrote in the post that, quote, "I believe these texts make it clear what they were after from me and what I refuse to promise." Strategy's bid to join the S&P 500 index was rejected despite meeting technical eligibility criteria. JP Morgan called this a sign of growing caution towards companies that function as de facto Bitcoin funds. The Wall Street giant wrote in a report that the index committee's discretionary decision is a setback not only for Strategy, but for the growing number of corporate crypto treasuries emulating its strategy of using balance sheets to accumulate Bitcoin. According to the analysts, Strategy's inclusion in other major benchmarks from the NASDAQ 100 to MSCI indices has quietly given Bitcoin a backdoor into retail and institutional portfolios. However, the S&P 500 decision could mark the limit of that trend and may prompt other index providers to rethink existing inclusions of Bitcoin-heavy companies. And U.S. inflation for August came in hotter than expected, but the results are likely not enough to derail the Federal Reserve from cutting interest rates next week. On Polymarket, bettors now see an 84% chance of a 25 basis point rate cut this month, while perceived odds of a 50 basis point drop have surged to 14% from 5.4% in a week. The CME's FedWatch tool shows traders positioned for a 90.9% chance of a 25 basis point cut and a 9% chance of an even deeper one. The consumer price index rose 0.4% last month versus expectations 4.3% and 0.2% in July. On a year-over-year basis, CPI was higher by 2.9% versus a forecast 2.9% and 2.7% in July. As of this morning, Bitcoin is trading at around $113,500. That's it for CoinDesk Daily. Get more updates on CoinDesk.com, and we will see you next time.